Hello and welcome to drillingcontractor.org. I'm Ava Vig reporting from the IADC HSE&T Conference and Exhibition in Houston. I'm here with Mike Munsell, Project Manager at PSRG, who's going to tell us about how small incident investigations can be used to enhance safety culture. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for being here.
You advocate for the use of the term small incident rather than near miss. Can you tell us about the difference between these two terms and why you find the term near miss to be misleading?
Well, industry tends to think of incidents as distinct from near misses. And an incident tends to be reported, it tends to be investigated. Near misses tend to be shoved off quite a bit. When they do get investigated, they're not investigated very well. So what that does is put an artificial barrier in place that shouldn't exist. And I'm advocating for the use of the word small incident rather than near misses, just simply to sidestep that barrier. If we do this and we take the near misses more seriously, then there's a tremendous amount of information that we can gain that can be very useful.
What does the industry stand to gain by investigating small incidents?
Quite a bit, actually. There are a lot more small incidents than are large incidents. And small incidents, if they're well investigated and you get meaningful information from them, can actually provide you predictors of upcoming large incidents. The best way to avoid a large incident is to predict that it's coming down the pike and to avoid it, to sidestep it. And it's also very economic to avoid them and prevent them from ever occurring rather than having to respond to them.
What are some common barriers to investigating small incidents, and how can the industry overcome them?
Well, the biggest barrier is simply the lack of company support for taking the small incidents seriously and actually investigating them. What often happens is that one person, generally a health and safety guy, gets burdened with taking a look at every near miss that comes through, and they get piled up with overwork. They tend to go into just pencil whipping the near misses, and they're not necessarily provided the training to do a good job of it. So these are the most common barriers that we see.
And can you explain the 5 Why approach and what are the advantages and disadvantages?
In Japan, the Toyota Corporation created the 5 Why approach quite a few generations ago. This was an approach that was used to minimize errors on the manufacturing assembly line for automobiles. And what it is in a nutshell is just simply to look at something that happened and ask the question why 5 times, answering each time. There are some problems with that. And those problems come into knowing when to ask the questions, what questions to ask, and so on. The 5 Why approach, if it's modified slightly, can provide very, very good information that can be used for near misses, which can be used in turn to predict potential large incidents, which can be used to avoid them, which can save lives and money.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.